Hi, I'm Dr. Drelos. This is a lecture on terminology of the head, eyes, ears, nose, and throat. The head, eyes, ears, nose, and throat, commonly abbreviated as HEENT, relate to two different specialties. Ophthalmology is a surgical specialty focused on diagnosis and treatment of eye disorders. The word ophthalmology comes from the root ophthalmos, meaning eye, and logi, meaning study of. Otolaryngology is a surgical specialty focused on diagnosis and treatment of conditions of the head and neck. This word comes from oto, meaning ear, and laryngo, meaning throat, plus logi, meaning study of. Now we'll do a brief review of relevant anatomy. The muscles of the face include occipitofrontalis, orbicularis oculi, occipitofrontalis, orbicularis oris, and the buccinator. Skull anatomy includes the frontal bone, the nasal bone, the maxilla, the mandible, the occipital bone, and the parietal bone. Head anatomy can get very complicated. There are many different named parts of the skull, for example, including many named canals. Now we'll review eye anatomy. The cornea is the transparent part of the eye that covers the iris and pupil. The pupil is the round opening in the center of the iris that permits light to pass into the eye. The lens is a curved, transparent structure that focuses the light on the retina. The uvea is the pigmented layer of the eye and includes the iris, choroid, and ciliary body. The iris is the colored tissue at the front of your eye, which contains muscles to expand and contract the size of the pupil. The vitreous humor is a transparent gel that fills up the eye behind the lens. The sclera refers to the whites of the eyes. The optic nerve is the nerve that carries visual information from the eyes to the brain, while the optic disc is the structure around the optic nerve at the point where it enters the back of the eye. The retina is a layer at the back of the eye that contains light-sensitive cells which trigger nerve impulses. The macula is an oval yellowish area at the center of the retina, and the fovea is a small place on the retina where visual acuity is best. Now we'll review ear anatomy. The auricle refers to the visible part of the ear located outside the head. The external auditory canal is the passage that leads from the air outside the body to the tympanic membrane. The tympanic membrane is the eardrum. The ossicles are three bones located in the middle ear which transmit sounds from the air to the cochlea. The ossicles include the malleus, incus, and stapes. The malleus is a small bone that transmits vibrations from the tympanic membrane to the incus. The incus transmits the vibrations to the stapes, and the stapes transmits the vibrations to the oval window. The oval window is an opening from the middle ear to the cochlea. Vibrations that contact the tympanic membrane travel through the ossicles to the oval window to create vibrations inside the fluid that fills the cochlea. The Eustachian tube is a tube that connects the middle ear with the nose and sinuses. The cochlea is a snail-shaped cavity filled with fluid of the inner ear and produces nerve impulses in response to sounds. The cochlear nerve carries these nerve impulses from the cochlea to the brain. The vestibular nerve transmits information related to motion and position to the brain. Finally, we'll briefly consider nose and throat anatomy. The sphenoid sinuses and frontal sinuses are hollow spaces in the bones around the nose. The nasal concha or turbinates are thin, scroll-shaped, bony structures that form the upper parts of the nasal cavities. Their function is to increase the surface area to help warm and humidify the air. The external nares are the nostrils. The hard palate is the front, bony part of the roof of the mouth, while the soft palate is the back, soft part. The nasopharynx refers to the upper part of the pharynx, connecting with the nasal cavity above the soft palate. The oropharynx refers to the part of the pharynx located between the soft palate and the hyoid bone. The laryngopharynx refers to the lower part of the pharynx, which is next to the larynx. The larynx is the voice box. It contains the vocal cords, also called the vocal folds. The epiglottis is a flap of cartilage that covers the opening of the trachea, the windpipe, during swallowing. The glottis is the part of the larynx that contains the vocal cords and the opening between them. Now we'll discuss Latin and Greek roots relative to the head, eyes, ears, nose, and throat. Acoust means hearing. The word acoustic means relating to sound or the sense of hearing. Aphatos means speechless. Aphasia is a condition with total or partial loss of the ability to use or understand language. It's often caused by stroke or brain injury. Audi means hearing. Auditory means relating to the sense of hearing. R means ear. Aural means relating to the ear or the sense of hearing. Blepher means eyelid. Blepharospasm is movement disorder of excessive eye blinking. Cera means wax. Ceramin is earwax. Cochlea means snail-shaped. The cochlea, as we saw earlier, is a snail-shaped structure in the inner ear that is the central organ of hearing. Conjunctive is the membrane that covers the eyeball and inner eyelid. Conjunctivitis is commonly known as pink eye, is inflammation or infection of the outer membrane of the eyeball and inner eyelid. Cor means pupil. Anisocoria refers to unequal pupil sizes. Dacra means tear. Dacryostenosis refers to a blocked tear duct. Dipple means double. Diplopia is double vision. Gloss means tongue. Glossodynia refers to a burning sensation in the mouth. Ankyloglossia is a tongue tie, a condition where the frenulum tethers the tongue to the floor of the mouth. Gustat means taste. Gustation is the act or sensation of tasting. Hap means touch. Haptic means relating to the sense of touch. Irid means iris. Iritis is inflammation of the iris. Carat means cornea. Keratoconus is thinning and bulging of the cornea into a cone shape. Lacrum means tear duct. The lacrimal duct is the tear duct. It transmits tears from the eye to the nose. Lingu means tongue. Lingual means relating to the tongue, speech, or language. Myring means eardrum. A myringotomy is a procedure to create a hole in the eardrum to drain out fluid that's trapped in the middle ear. Nase means nose. Nasal is relating to the nose. While ocule means eye, and ocular means relating to the eyes or vision. Olfact means smell. Olfaction means the act of smelling. Ops means eye. Myopia refers to nearsightedness. Hyperopia to farsightedness, and presbyopia to farsightedness caused specifically by loss of lens elasticity, typically seen in old age. Ora means mouth. Oral is relating to the mouth. Osm means smell, and osmia is absence of the sense of smell. Ot means ear. Otoscopy is the procedure to examine the structures of the ear with an otoscope. Otodynia is an earache. Otorrhea is discharge from the ear. Otitis media is an ear infection, specifically infection of the middle ear behind the eardrum. Otitis externa is inflammation of the outer part of the ear, also called swimmer's ear. Palpebral means eyelid. The palpebral fissures are the openings between the eyelids. Rhine means nose. Rhinorrhea is runny nose. Stigmat means point. Astigmatism is an imperfection in the eye curvature that leads to blurred vision. Stomat means mouth. Xerostomia refers to dry mouth, often as an after effect of radiation therapy that involved the mouth. Tact means touch. Tactile is relating to the sense of touch on the skin surface. Tinea means to ring or tinkle. Tinnitus is ringing, roaring, or buzzing in the ears. Tympan means eardrum. A tympanostomy is placement of a small cylinder into the eardrum to prevent accumulation of fluid behind the eardrum. Vitre means glassy. Vitreous humor, as we saw earlier, is the gel that fills up the eye behind the lens. Thank you for listening to my lecture today.